Hi, welcome to the new episode of Sportsy. Let's aim sports. Today we have with us Shibani Gharat, anchor and senior producer with TV18 broadcast, CNBC TV18 and CNBC Awaaz. Over 8 years of experience in broadcast journalism, working on renowned shows such as Storyboard, Tech Guru, Brand Bazaar, Lessons in Marketing Excellence, and much more. In addition to her amazing broadcasting career, Shibani is an avid runner. She has completed over 23 full marathons, 27 ultra marathons, and she is a ACSM certified marathon trainer, a ACSM certified sports nutritionist, a travel lover who left the importance of fitness a hard way during her busy corporate life. Shibani will be talking to us about importance of fitness for the corporate people and how to train and gain. So please welcome a journalist, athlete, superwoman, Shibani Gharat, who is anchoring for endurance. Hey, hi Shivani, it's great to have you on our show Sportsy. Let's aim sports.
Great to speak to you, Sid.
And it is everybody knows. I don't think the introduction is required for Shivani, who is with us today. But a different side of Shivani that we want to hear from is Shivani, who is an avid runner. Shivani, who is a fitness enthusiast, and I think we can say with the running so many ultra marathons, I don't think it's enthusiast anymore. It is the runner freak that comes out. Nobody can run for 100 kilometers just like that. So that's what Shivani we want to be going to hear from. But at the same time, we want to understand the whole journey about from an athlete to corporate life, being in front of the camera, handling so much of pressure work in broadcasting, and finding time for yourself to use running as a mechanism towards endurance. So Shivani, looking forward to this chat.
Absolutely. Even I'm looking forward to the conversation, considering, your whole goal and purpose of having these conversations over the past few months, especially since the pandemic hit us. It's been quite a inspirational journey from your side as well. And, it's great that you are doing something like this, Sid.
Yes, thank you. I'm just trying to do my bit. I love sports, so just want to be part of sports and spread this thing. I wish I had something like this 20 years back when I was so much curious. But nevertheless, I think we get a lot of things out of these chats. So first question, which always starts about the journey. So from a Taekwondo player to a very successful media leader, anchor. Who is focused on endurance training. How did this thing happen? So if you can tell us about it.
Okay. When I was in college, I used to represent Mumbai University and also Maharashtra in Taekwondo. I had like a regime to that, like it was like a regime, I had to have like a morning session for conditioning and strengthening, and fixing those basics when it comes to building the basics for Taekwondo. And then evening used to be the actual on mat Taekwondo practice. So this used to happen between my college and then that's how it all began when I got very, very interested in fitness. Now, since my college would start really early in the morning, it was very difficult on some days to accommodate that conditioning session. So the easiest way for me to build my stamina and, to build some kind of strength is just simply go to, like a park near my house, take a couple of rounds, and then come back home, do some basic crunches, lunges, squats and all, and just run to work. Like sometimes I wouldn't even get the time to go take shower or whatever. But the fact that, I could quickly squeeze that run in is, something that really, had me interested. So when I actually started my corporate life and, when I started working in media and, I'm not sure whether you're aware of the kind of timings that we have. It's all over the place. It's not like, you have a 9 to 5 or a 9 to 6 kind of a job. But sometimes, you have to really start at, let's say, 7 in the morning. And then probably your day gets over early, or sometimes you can start in the afternoon and then you have to work really till late in the night, like literally burn the midnight oil. And then with such a dynamic work kind of a setup, it was very difficult to accommodate a regiment of any class, or the timings of a gym, or like a pool or any court or something where any other sport is played. So the fact that I took up running at that point in time in life, when when my college days were behind me, was the sheer convenience of it. And that aspect and that part, the word convenience, and what it enables has stayed with me till date. Till now, even when people ask me, how do you keep fit considering all the stress that you have to go through, and considering prior to the pandemic, the kind of travel that I used to do, which sometimes would mean traveling to 3 to 4 cities in a week, I would simply respond saying that I keep it and make it convenient. Let's say, like I don't have enough time in hand, then I would quickly do, let's say, a 50 push-ups and move on with life. Or, like I would go for a simple 2 to 3 kilometer run, and then that's that for me. Like I try to squeeze in those 20 minutes or 30 minutes of workout, because in my head, I try to figure out the convenient way to do it. That's how, my whole fitness journey and my running journey has begun, and I'm able to sustain it even after so many years.
Yeah. Well, I want to cling on to one word you said convenience. I think, but the people in the corporate life are used to giving excuses out of convenience. That I can't do this, I can't do that. But I think you use it other way around, that running became the convenient way, or getting the small 20-30 minutes kind of thing, squeezing it in the heavy schedule that typically the media agents industry has. I think it's a great thing. But in the whole journey, it is not something which is, if you're not doing something for at a particular reason, it's very tough to keep yourself motivated in and day out. And our channel is the theme of this interview is Let's Aim Sports, is how sports is aspirational, inspirational, and motivational.
Correct.
So in your journey, what has been what are these three words are, and what are those things that always keep pushing you towards being better version of yourself? Because from half marathon to full marathon to Ironman to ultra marathon, it's not a small journey. So what are these three things to you?
I haven't done the Ironman. It's aspirational for me. I aspire to do it someday, probably when I'm able to cycle better. But yeah, so you said aspirational, inspirational, and
Motivational, aim.
Motivational. Okay. So aspirational for me, since you are playing on these three words, is aspirational for me is something that I find like, really like, unsurmountable. Like there are so many events out there, there are so many, events across the country, across the world that I really want to do at some point in time or the other. So I try to keep like, a target of like one of these, like difficult races, or, challenging events, or like, some focus or some race around which I ideally weave in my training, so that, that particular event would be aspirational for me. When it comes to inspirational, I think I am like honestly, mostly so many athletes, everyday athletes around me are the ones that who really inspire me on a day-to-day basis. The fact that, they are able to, like achieve those goals in spite of not being like in their, a pro in the sports that they pursue. Like when it comes to even Ironman or even ultra marathon running events, there are so many such people who have like full-time jobs like me, continue to hustle on a day-to-day basis, whether it's on the road, on the ground, or even at their work. These are the kind of people that I really look up to when I want to draw inspiration. And then motivational is what you said is honestly, most of the days I am like that extremely optimistic and self-motivated kind of a person. But there are some dull days that even I have, and that's when, all of these motivational documentaries of like these great people on, OTT platforms that come to play. sometimes even some basic motivational videos that you see by, let's say, for example, Kipchoge's breaking 2 video is such an inspiration. I must have watched it like at least 20 to 30 times. So something like, so sometimes even I have those dull days where I am looking for, outside motivation. So these are the kind of videos and these are the kind of docu-series, documentaries that, I really lean into to, like, draw that motivation on certain days. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure, and there are so many amazing journeys that you get to hear, because the one thing is the field that you work in. I think there's so many stories that are happening around you that you get to hear and see, and that is what is the simple funda of life is. So for me personally, I think I used to run a little bit, but when during one of the Mumbai Marathon, I actually Major DP Singh, he just crossed by me at the Blade Runner, and I said, what am yeah, and said, what am I complaining for? If he is doing this, what am I complaining for? So I think that actually changed the way I looked at things as well. But while reading something about you, you also have mentioned that 2012 Mumbai Marathon actually changed the way you look at things. So
2013.
2013 Mumbai Marathon, that changed your life. So
Yeah.
and actually you took up endurance at a different level. So what was the backstory? Was it the corporate stress? Whether it was the getting bogged down by the whole work? What was that? Because the viewers and listeners are also working in the corporates, working in the different industries. So I think that trigger that they need, probably some people can actually take a cue from it.
So I don't think anyone should take motivation from this story that I'm about to share. So I mentioned to you how I used to run around Shivaji Park when I couldn't squeeze in my morning conditioning and strength training for Taekwondo, right? So I continued to do that because I thought it was convenient, and I started going to the park on a regular basis for my runs. And I literally started running in denims, and then dry fits and all came in much later when I did after I finished my first marathon. So this is the story of my first ever run, which was a full marathon. Like I was running at Shivaji Park, and this old guy, he comes to me and he says, "Hey, I see you running very often. Why don't you participate in Mumbai Marathon?" And I had heard of Mumbai Marathon. I knew the fact that one day in Jan, all the roads in the city are shut. Okay, people are running on the road and all of that. So I had heard about it. It was never a part of my life per se. So I went home and I searched. Back then it was Standard Chartered Mumbai Marathon. And this was, I think, in the month of November in 2012 or something, where if you're a runner, you would know that all the registrations for half marathon are, already full around that time. So even the dream run was full, which is a 6-kilometer run. So I'm like, I mean, how difficult will it be to run a 42? Like, I had no idea. Absolutely no idea what it is. Just had no clue. And I'm like, okay, like, I mean, I used to do my sparring practice in Taekwondo for 3 hours in the evening, like 7:30 to 4:30 to 7:30. So yeah, I mean, I have like that endurance, like I need not worry. And then during nationals and, these state training sessions and all of that, I mean, we used to practice it in the morning and in the evening. So, matlab, kitna difficult hoga? So I registered for it without knowing what kind of a monster running a full marathon is. I didn't even have the clothes to run. Like, I actually ran in Bermudas that you carry to Goa, the cotton ones that you carry to Goa. As I mentioned, I had no clue what a dry fit t-shirt is. I ran on my trainers that I use in the gym. Like, I used to use in the gym. And no watch or something. I was wearing a Titan ka ghadi, which I continued to wear for the next 2 years. I got my first GPS only 2 years into marathon running, actually. So so I went to the start line, and everyone was all geared up, with energy gels and bottles of water, and I was like, "Ye kya hai? Like, what is going on?" And I didn't even have a basic cap to run like a full marathon in a city like Mumbai, which is so hot and humid. And my longest run prior to the event was 17K. I didn't know taper, I didn't know build up, I didn't know base building, nothing. I just went and I ran. And I think around there's this between 33-34 kilometer mark is when you hit Haji Ali. Like, you know, one of my friend called you whether I'm alive to check on me, whether I'm alive or, you know, like I'm still at it or, you know, like what has happened. And then I finished my first ever run in my life. Like, you know, I mean, I hadn't done a 10K, I hadn't done a 5K, I hadn't done a 21K. I had done a straight full marathon as my first run of my life, race of my life. And I finished it sub 5 hours.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I mean, it was like, okay, I finished and then fine, move on with life, because I was in between two jobs. I was just about to join CNBC back then. And, you know, I just left my previous job, which is like an online company that I used to write for as a journalist. And I was between two jobs. So I had a lot of things to finish the next day, like, you know, paperwork and all things. So I was like, okay, fine. Like, you know, I finished and I moved on with life. It was only the next December, in December 2013, like approximately 11 months after the race, is when this company that does production for Star Sports, you know, wanted to take my interview as somebody who's done her first full marathon in sub 5 hours and how big deal it is. I had no clue till then that it is a big deal. I had no clue that finishing a marathon is a big deal at all. Forget finishing it sub 5 hours. And I mean, I was amazed at myself. Like, you know, like, I mean, I was amazed that I didn't know also that it's supposed to be a big deal. I mean, it's highly ignorant of me, but yeah, I mean, that was that. And, you know, it has been like an interesting journey from there on. And like, you know, after I finished a marathon distance, I of course wanted to do more because I could push myself through that distance with a very limited training and I could still do it. Like, I think sometimes ignorance is bliss. So this is like an ideal example for that.
Yeah, excellent. I think sub 5 is a full marathon is still been my distant dream. I have been doing half marathons year after year, but full is still, I feel no, I can't run anywhere, anything
Reading too
beyond
much material on it. I think you can do it if you stop reading and, you know, making it such a huge deal. You can just go ahead and do it.
I think so. I think let me take that thing cue. But the first one, as you said, you after 11 months it became a big deal, and you're done. But after that run always will be special. But after that, you've done 23 full marathon, 27 ultra marathons, and every run is a special run. But what is the thing that you actually everything teaches something different. So what do you think that a run teaches you in the whole journey? What does that first 21 kilometer teaches you, 40 kilometer teaches you, or going beyond that? What does the endurance running teaches you in for life?
Patience. It teaches you a lot of patience. Like, if you are like, I know I'm the kind of person who is like a very impatient soul. Before I started running, I still have my fair share of impatience even now, but running, and especially ultra distance running, teaches you huge amount of patience. Like, you know, you can't be impatient in the first 16 or 20 kilometers. You have to stay strong, you have to stay steady, you have to have faith in yourself, you have to trust the process, you have to trust your body. And if you have trained, then, you know, you will sail through. Like, no matter how difficult you know, like the event is, number one thing that it teaches you is patience. Second thing that it really teaches you is to think on your feet, you know, like, and literally, quite literally, in fact. So many times, you know, so many things can go wrong in an event. Like, you know, especially like marathon is still like a lesser time that you take to finish a marathon. But, you know, for let's say 100K where you're running hours after hours, or 24 hours, or 100 miles. So it's a lot of time that you take to finish these kind of races. And, you know, anything could go wrong. For example, there could be no banana or no solid food available at the aid station, or there could be like, you know, suddenly your heart rate, you could feel it increasing, probably because you haven't consumed too much food or consumed too much salt. So you know, like, you have to think and go with the mentality that, you can fix this, and, this is just a phase and it will pass. And to accumulate all that experience and to apply it to that difficult situation right there is one of the things that it really teaches you. So these are the top two things that I think ultra running teaches you, and it teaches you a lot of humility, I think. Like, I mean, like, you might start as like the champion of like, whatever that distance is. And then over the course of like a 4 to 5 hours, probably things don't go wrong for you, don't go right for you. It could be too sunny or it could be too cold, and, you don't know how your body would react, and all of those things happen. And then you have to be humble, in whatever situation that you are. That's one of the main things like about ultra running. It teaches you a lot of humility, like if you are up for taking it. That's
Interesting. You spoke about patience, you spoke about humility, thinking on the feet. I think these are something that are very much important in day-to-day life skills. At the same time, something that the chat is about, it's about the corporate life and the lifestyle together. So I think this is something that you can implement a lot, and it brings a lot of positive different aspects when you're working in a high pressure corporate environment. So how do you think that you're working with network agency CNBC, and it's a huge office, but not everybody is running. So how do you think that people can get into it, and what are the benefits that you have seen yourself personally uh, in the stressful job the running gives you, or endurance training gives you, which actually gives you a better productivity in your professional life as well? So passion to profession kind of a combination.
It gives me a lot of me time. See, I don't run in groups and all of that. So I get my own time to clear my thoughts. If I'm having, let's say, a difficult problem at work, and, I just sleep on it. And then when I wake up the next day morning, and, it's playing in your subconscious, and you go out for a run, it helps you clear your thoughts, on the run, when you are running without phone and, something in your ears and all of that. So it gives me like a clear picture so many times in the morning. So many times in the morning, when I'm out on my run, and, like I have a very important interview or something in the day, I form my questions on the run, and then I come back and I quickly draft them on my device, on my phone or my laptop, or introductions, for my interviews or my panel discussions happen quite a few times on my run. So these are some of the benefits that I get as a professional from my run. Plus, I think, the kind of energy that you get out of your morning workout, be it running, be it swimming, be it CrossFit, whatever you do, like it has to be done to an extent that it doesn't exhaust you. Like you get a lot of energy, it makes you feel fresh, up and alive right in the morning when you do it. So sound sleep, these are some of the things that you could get out of your morning workouts. Yeah.
Interesting. And you were just talking about the me time that you get, and you get to build those questions for the shows that you do, and you handle one of the very interesting shows on Storyboard 18 about the brands and the marketing and connecting that towards the growth. How do they should be representing, or how are they getting represented? So how do you think that in India the sports and fitness industry is getting represented, and what can the everybody together can do to make India a sporting nation that we've been wanting to be for years together?
Yeah, so I believe that, what we saw around, the Olympics and the Paralympics in 2021 was amazing. It was like a heightened sense of interest around these two events. The kind of support that, let's say, the likes of PV Sindhu or Neeraj Chopra got was really, heartwarming to see. And, the kind of conversations around them on platforms like Twitter, on Instagram, was really amazing. I'm sure even they must be overwhelmed with the kind of response that they got for winning medals for the country. I think what needs to be done is, normalize the conversation around sports is what is pretty much required. Like, if you see the kind of work that you see, and to an extent, I feel pop culture, advertising and all really influence people's mindset. So like, how we see like how, the likes of Byju's, for example, is promoting कि आपके बच्चों के अच्छे number आएंगे, your beta or beti will be successful. I mean, that has always been the focus for a country like India, where, अच्छे numbers lao, अच्छी job karo, अच्छी पढ़ाई karo. These are the focus areas. Nobody focuses or talks about sports and the fact that it has the potential to make you a successful person. Like, people see stories of rags to riches stories of cricketers, but they see ki, okay, it's only a 11 member team, and then, like, what if my child doesn't make it to that team? What will his future be? But, let's say when a sport like, let's say, a platform like, let's say, a pro kabaddi or something comes into the market, that picks up these kabaddi players from grassroots and puts them and makes them the national focus. There could be other such platforms that can be created to push different types of sports in the country. That is one thing that can be done. Second thing is, as I mentioned, not dramatize conversation of, like how this one's mom sold gold for her to, like go and play in the Olympics. That, that I think will put in a lot of fright in like a lot of people, that, that's the kind of expense that you have to like, bear if your child is into sport, and then the returns are very limited. It's only when, these athletes from different sports are put into spotlight, you see that they have a steady source of income, they can be successful individuals like any other corporate, any other engineer, any other doctor, any other architect. Normalize these conversations, and that is the only way in a country like India parents will support their children to be successful in sports.
Right. Interesting. And I think that is something that everybody is working towards. But at the same time, we still face the problem that there are people sponsoring cricket heavily. Now, Kabaddi is getting some sponsorship, at the same time, football, and everybody's still suffering. So, as a marketeer, what do you think, how the brands can get benefit looking at the sports overall and not only a game like cricket?
See, I have nothing against cricket. I think, it's cricketers are doing fairly good job, and even work hard. We have seen how hard Virat Kohli works, or like Rohit Sharma works, and they're putting in a lot of hard work. See, there are certain examples where the likes of, let's say, a Bridgestone, or Edelweiss, or Tata Namak, or like of late, even the cola companies have come forward and have been supporting some athletes and all. Of course, their stories can be a part of their campaigns. That can be done. But in general, I think there is a need to normalize these conversations. Say that it is okay that, and show probably a career path for fields apart from cricket, which can, or apart from your regular fields of careers like architecture or medicine or whatever, that this also has the potential for your child to be successful. It can be a part of curriculum. It a lot of educational institutes could say that, okay, there is a sports management course, or there's a like course to train your child to become a successful badminton player, for example. Even schools could try and encourage their kids to take up these activities. Currently, it is like razor sharp focus around marks achhe lao, grades achhe pao, do an MBA, and pick up that corporate job for you to be set in life.
Right. No, and I think that's where we need a mental shift rather than anything else. And when it talks about mental, I just want to have probably a last or second last question from my side. Is about want to touch upon one topic which is very crucial, which is mental toughness. And in the endurance run is beyond running beyond the physical thing. Once you get into the mechanical mode of going, it's all about mental. People have spoken about it. So how do you think the mental toughness plays a role in your sporting career as well as your corporate life? And what does Shibani does to build that towards her journey?
one of the basic things that I do is not overthink it. Okay, like there's this phrase in endurance running, which is 1 foot after the other, and like 1 meter or 3 meters at a time, kind of a thing. So be in that present moment is, and give yourself fully to that present kilometer or that present 10 meters or whatever that you are in. And that is, I think, the best thing that I do to myself, whether it is like a stressful day like today was, when we are speaking. I just focus on that job at hand, and then I try to finish that and then move on to the next thing. So I don't stress myself out thinking, okay, like I have this much to do and that much to finish also, and this thing is also there, that thing is also there. So just finish whatever you have in hand right now properly, and then move on to the next task. That's how I do it. Yeah.
Interesting. So Shibani, you have done so many runs, ultra marathons, full marathons, and at multiple destinations. We get to see it across Leh or some night runs and everything. So which has been your most favorite destination where you would like to go again and again and run?
I'll tell you what, I believe, and I was just having this conversation with a friend of mine yesterday, कि साल में एक बार लद्दाख जाना ही चाहिए. So I think, there is something about that place. Okay, there's something about Leh Ladakh, which makes me come back to that place again and again. The people are beautiful. It's scenic. It's gorgeous. Everything about it is just so remarkably peaceful that you are at peace every time you go to Ladakh. And you don't go there for 2 days and come back. Like if you go to Ladakh, you have to spend like a good amount of 7 to 8 days at least. So I think Ladakh is a place that I really like to go back to again and again. And you asked me about lack of oxygen. So वो Three Idiots का dialogue है कि all is well. So whenever I reach any destination with lack of oxygen, or which has such thin air, so वो दिमाग को बेवकूफ बना के चलो, मतलब take it slow. I'm not saying rush into it, like just go out on day one and all of that. But again, if you overthink it, you will be curtailing and limiting your own potential. You might be feeling all right, but just because somebody else has taken time off, or somebody else fainted, or somebody else threw up, is the reason why. And that is where psychology plays a role there. Like that's how it hits you. Even though you will be feeling fine and all of that, there would be no issue. You will keep on thinking about it and then eventually fall sick. So अगर आपको ज़्यादा तकलीफ नहीं हो रही है, कुछ नहीं लग रहा है, then do not overthink the fact that you are in an area where there is less amount of oxygen. Take it easy. Trust your body more than anything else. People don't listen to their body. मतलब खांसी आ रही है फिर भी उठ के they will go out and run, and then it just keeps on coming back to you. अभी जाएगी, 3 हफ्ते बाद वापस आएगी. सर्दी हुई, you have to rest and you have to take a break from running. If you don't do it, अभी जाएगी, 3 से 4 हफ्ते बाद वापस आएगी. So you have to listen to the signals that your body gives you, and then let that lead you in your journey, which a lot of people don't do. So that is very important. So just listen to the body, and that is what even the lack of oxygen teaches me. Like if your body is feeling fine, it has adapted well to lack of oxygen. If it's not feeling fine, then you should please stay wherever you are and take it easy and don't go out for a run. It's as simple as that.
Excellent, Shibani. I think this is the very, what to say, the सीधी बात, no bakwas kind of thing. It's like just straight listen to your body, and
no doctor, no test, no science can tell you anything about your body if you don't listen to your body. It's as simple as that.
Interesting thought. And my last question, Shibani, for today, in fact, I would like to talk about something else in a different chat. But for today is, what is your message to people who are working in corporates, giving excuse after excuse for not doing something, or not giving that time to themselves towards fitness?
Okay, so I can't speak in general for everyone, because like, I don't know, I haven't walked their shoes to understand their issues. Okay, they might, like, for example, some people really have like, difficult life when it comes to coming from their homes to their like workplaces, which are like 2.5 hours away. So I mean, if their 4 hours to 5 hours are spent in travel, I can totally empathize with them, and I can understand that they are not able to give those 20-30 minutes, on a daily basis. What I try to say is that, like, even if you are not able to work out or take out that time, at least, you can bring about small changes in your every day when it comes to, like, basic things like not sitting for too long at one place, getting up from your seat at regular intervals, trying to stretch, like do some mobility, walk from your chair to your water cooler, like, probably keep a glass and keep on refilling it and to drink water. So that will add like a few steps to the day's count. Drink adequate amount of water, try to figure out and try to have like a way in which you can have like a complete meal, for your lunch or dinner. So these are some small basic lifestyle changes that, you can incorporate in your life if you're not able to give away 20 to 30 minutes. Then there are some basic stretches and exercises also that, will really take you 5 to 7 minutes in the morning that, you can do. And there are so many apps out there. Okay, there is 7-minute yoga, which actually ends in 7 minutes, or, like a 10-minute workout and all, which are, we are a world driven by technology, and this is the best way to make use of it. So, like, you can quickly log into YouTube or, download any of these apps and, finish off that 7 to 10 minute workout, even if you can't give a 30 minutes. So 10 minutes is good enough. If you can spend 10 minutes scrolling Facebook and Instagram, then you can definitely give 10 minutes to work out on a daily basis.
Interesting thought, and I think it's wonderful to listen to the whole chat about the whole journey from athlete to successful corporate life, and parallelly taking care of your athleticism and endurance that you are actually promoting and doing it continuously. I think it's a great job and it's a great inspiration. As you said, you get inspiration from other people, but I'm sure there is a inspirational story that in whatever you've been doing, managing that kind of crazy schedule behind the camera, in front of the camera, everything, and still making it happen. Thanks for sharing this journey with us, Shibani. It's wonderful hosting you, and look forward to talk to you again.
Thank you so much, Sid. Thanks. Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you for watching. Thank you for liking, and thank you for sharing. But please do subscribe to our channel, Sportsy Says, and help us spread the word about Sportsy. We go with the same handle, Sportsy Says, across all the social media platforms and podcasts. Don't forget to click on the bell icon.